Welcome to the shooting show. This week we have a night vision double bill. Byron travels to the north of England to meet two groundskeepers with a view to testing out Pulsar's N750 digital night vision unit and the infrared illuminator options that makes the very best of this affordable foxing kit. This week, Byron Pace is trialling the Pulsar DigiSight N750, Pulsar infrared illuminator and Nightmaster 800 IR. He has just received the equipment from Scott Country and has enlisted Fox controllers Phil and Guy to help put it to the test. It will be a new experience for them all.
Just there's two of them. Yeah. I'm just wondering if we just wait here and let it get across that bank now, instead of trying to mess on with it. Because if we bring it into there, you can't see far. Remember when we used to try and get them from there before, you can't see far into there.
Yeah.
But then again, it's not going to come to that, because it's got to get over that burn yet.
Having decided on a plan, they call the N750 to action and Guy prepares the rifle. Despite Phil's squeaking, the fox departs and the team moves on in search of more accessible quarry. A flash of eyes reveals yet another fox on the dark slopes. Guy is ready on the bonnet. The fox is in sight and coming in at a good pace. Its movements are picked up clearly by the Pulsar DigiSight N750, but Guy is wary of taking the shot. The fox is only a short distance away, and Guy's lack of experience with digital night vision equipment makes him hesitant. Guy holds off on taking the shot, and they soon lose sight of the quarry. With the fox gone, Guy, Phil and Byron head out on foot hoping for better luck. But they return empty-handed to the truck once more.
Dropped into a gutter and that was the last we've seen of it.
Yeah.
Just there, we went to the left and it had been 60 yards if that, and that's it, gone. Gone.
No chance for a shot?
Nah. I don't know if it's went right or left, you know, behind the wood or what.
Well, that's the wood, yeah.
Yeah. That was in soft fox, that like, it wasn't even, didn't even know we're there, did it?
No.
There's 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah.
These days have gone.
I thought you just run them.
I'm getting too old for this, but just have to keep my eyes open here for really trapped. There's a load of sheep there. It's gone again. What a bloody night.
There are foxes around, but they're all keeping a safe distance. Not even the Fox Pro caller can tempt them in. One fox takes interest in the call, but seems adamant to stay where it is.
Let's try a hippo, I mean, why not? Raccoon. It's vamoosed.
They eventually spot another fox.
It's him, like. It's him. He's running down the fence, like, we'll just take our time with him. No point spooking him. Yep, here he comes. Look at him, he's coming down now like a clapper. Come on, lassie.
Set up on the bonnet of the truck, Guy bides his time and waits for a safe shot.
Seven fox tonight, we finally bagged it.
You got your fox?
Yeah, dog.
250, was it? Not a bad shot there, guy, yeah? Yeah?
Then once the actual main lamp was off, I picked it up running from my right to left.
You could see it a lot clearer once the lamp came off, obviously.
Yeah, obviously a lot clearer as soon as that lamp went off, and then just picked it up and could see enough of it to shoot. So it's the first fox I've shot with it, yeah. Brilliant, clear, magnified enough, plenty.
Now that Guy is confident with the unit, it's up to Phil to bag the next fox.
Hold that button down.
Top button, flick that up to record. And then obviously the channel.
With Phil briefed, they set off once again.
They just come and then they just turn off their eyes. Is that one on the left? Just go left, up, straight up now. There it looks.
Phil prepares to take the fox, but has forgotten to turn the Nightmaster illuminator on. He's lucky the fox is so close. He lines up the rifle and takes his shot.
Indeed.
Got it that time, Phil.
Got him that time.
How was that?
Alright, yeah. I think it's a bit clearer that time, like, with it being closer and a solid background, you know. Yeah, but the fox itself was still fuzzy, mind. It was still, when you're looking through it, you know, wasn't a clear outline of it, you know.
Might need to do a little bit of tuning with the scope.
Yeah.
It's a clean kill and they head down the field to examine the second hard-earned fox of the night.
Naughty vixen, eh? Went exactly where I was pointing it, more or less.
Good.
Not a bad fox, so nice weight to it, is there? A hole here.
That'll be where the cubs are.
Yeah. Some more eyes further up here.
Guy, why don't you ask Phil why he didn't have a nice clear picture?
Well, I didn't have a clear picture for it.
Didn't have the Nightmaster light on.
Excellent.
Just had the illuminator reticle that comes on the scope.
Almost shooting in the dark, but you got the job done.
Yeah. Aye.
Fox number 2 of how many have we seen now, Guy? What's
10, 11.
And with that, they call it quits for now.
A lot of vixens will have cubs now. The dogs will just be on a one-track mind of feeding her. And I think we'll just struggle, to be honest. I was seeing quite a lot. They weren't responding to the calls like they normally do. Squeaking weren't really working. I think we all know seen 13, didn't we? We shot 2 and maybe there's only 2 more really reacted, didn't they?
talking about the kit, for the money, because it's a lot cheaper than a lot of other night vision on the market, what do you reckon to that?
Yeah, it's a good bit of kit. It's clear. I think if you worked on it a bit more and figured it out properly, you'd get on quite well with it in a job, like, you know.
With the Nightmaster, it makes a big difference as well.
Yeah, Nightmaster lighting it up. A lot clearer, and you can see a bit further as well, you know. It was just a hard night, I'm afraid. Some nights is like that down there, you know. You could go and you could see 13 and shoot 10, you know. Well, we just drove past that earth, didn't we, and we seen our eyes at the whole end. Next minute she come out, walked off, and then that was it. She just sat there watching her for a bit. When we picked her up, she was still quite dry around the teeth, so she must have just been suckling and come away for a bit, you know, to get a break from them, like.
Well, thanks very much, Phil.
No bother, been good.
Stay tuned to see Byron's in-depth review of the N750 and his top tips on how to get the best from this unit. But first, the Shooting Show news.
This is the Shooting Show News. 7/8 of respondents oppose airgun licensing in Scotland, the latest analysis has revealed. 87% of people who responded to the government's consultation rejected the idea of airgun licensing, while fewer than 100 were in favour of the restrictions. BASC said these newly released statistics showed a resounding rejection of the proposals, but the government said licensing would still happen. A petition against the airgun licence continues to grow. More news in Airgun Shooter magazine. Welsh wildfowlers have been given a reprieve after the government withdrew proposals for marine conservation zones that would effectively ban wildfowling. Every site created would have banned activities including shooting, angling and even beachcombing, regardless of whether these activities would actually have any effect. Now the proposals have been withdrawn in favour of a more evidence-based approach. BASC's Conor O'Gorman said he was grateful to everyone who took the time to voice their concerns. BASC has moved closer to accepting that shotgun and firearm licence fees will rise, but says any fees must be fair and matched by improved efficiency and consistent service delivery. With police forces recommending that application fees more than double over the next 2 years, BASC said licensing processes differ wildly from force to force, and that service needed to be consistent as well as effective. This comes as Warwickshire and West Mercia forces announced changes to their licensing process, which will see the introduction of telephone interviews with licence applicants and an improved force website. People in rural areas pay more and receive less, says a new report from politicians. A cross-party committee found that rural people face higher house prices and bigger council tax bills, but get less government funding and poorer infrastructures. The committee branded the discrepancy deeply unfair. And finally, the Queen's Prize is heading down under after James Corbett of Australia took the top prize at the Imperial meeting at Bisley last weekend. One of a number of shooters on 3 off the maximum possible 300, Corbett took top spot by virtue of the 46 centrals he amassed over the 4 stages. He edged out Ed Jeans and Matt Enzer, who took 2nd and 3rd respectively. The St George's and Grand Aggregate prizes went to the same shooter. David Luckman was the man on form. That was the Shooting Show News.
Having field tested the Pulsar N750 and infra-red illuminator and Nightmaster 800 IR, Byron reflects on how to get the most from this digital equipment.
My foxing trip to the north of England with Guy and Phil was very tricky indeed. We saw a lot of foxes the night that we were out, but getting them to come in close enough with the call to get a shot off proved very difficult. In the end, we ended up getting 2, but the whole point of the trip was to test some digital night vision. Now we had the Pulsar N750 and the Nightmaster illuminator. And what I have to tell you is that all 3 of us were very green to digital night vision. Guy and Phil have used traditional night vision very extensively, so they had a good benchmark to judge this against. But there were definitely a few things during that night that we didn't quite get right, which we realised looking back at what we did and having tested a bit more since. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through the few adjustments on the scope that will just improve your sight picture at night, and also a few tips on illumination to make your life easier. The first thing to look at when it comes to using your night vision is to get your illumination right. Now there are 2 aspects to this. The first is getting the correct illumination, and the second is making sure that the intensity is correct. Now on the N750 there is a built-in illuminator here. Now I did some tests last night looking at rabbits, and you can see that using the built-in illuminator really does limit the capabilities of this unit. If, on the other hand, you get your hands on one of the Pulsar illuminators and you bolt this onto the side bracket here, it really does extend the range that you can use the N750 at. And not only that, even at the shorter ranges, it makes your sight picture a lot clearer. If you want to shoot a bit further, more than say 150 yards, you do start to struggle to pick up the definition with the Pulsar illuminator. And you certainly wouldn't be able to do it with the built-in illuminator on the unit itself. And for that, you need something like the Nightmaster. This Nightmaster unit is brilliant, and it does extend your capabilities out to, I would say, 250 meters. At 300, you're still just able to pick up rabbits, but part of not being able to see them clearly is probably due to the magnification of the scope more than anything else. But anyway, so once you've selected the correct illumination, and we went with the Nightmaster because it just gave us that extended range and clearer quality of picture. The second thing to get correct is the brightness of your illumination. Now, what we discovered when we were out is that, especially with a unit like the Nightmaster, which has a very intense beam, is that you can actually have too much IR light, and the result of that is a very white picture that you don't get much definition in. Now, there are two ways around this. The first is to bring down the brightness of the screen in the night vision unit itself, and you do that just with this little button here. Just simply turning it back and forward makes the screen brighter or dimmer. And what we really didn't appreciate the first night that we were out is that adjusting this really can help bring out the definition of the objects that you're looking at. We definitely got that wrong on a few occasions. The second thing that you can do if you're still struggling is that with a unit like the Nightmaster, you can actually choose varying brightness levels. Now, the Nightmaster does this quite cleverly. You can either have the full intense beam, or you have the option of 3 different intensity levels. Now, to activate the intensity levels, what you need to do is grab the unit by the knurled collar here and just undo it about half a turn. Now, with that undone half a turn, this is not the focus ring, the focus is in front, and we'll look at that in a second. With it parted from the body just half a turn, if you half depress the switch at the back, you basically scroll through 3 brightness levels. And we had a look at that last night, and it works very well. And if you want to stick to a particular intensity level, when you reach it, when you're scrolling through, you just fully depress the button, and then it actually has a memory. So every time you turn it on and off, it'll return to that same intensity level. And if you want to change it again, you just scroll through until you reach the intensity that you require. If you lock it right back up with it off and turn it on, you will return to the most intense beam that you can get. Now, this makes a big difference. If you're looking at objects which are a bit closer, with the full intensity of the beam, it can just be a bit bright. So having that option really does help. The second thing that you can do with the Nightmaster is change the focus of the beam. Now, what is quite unusual with these units is if you bring the focus right up, what you actually have is a square light, and that's due to the illumination unit inside. And again, last night when I was out, I brought the Nightmaster across the full spectrum to allow you to see that. These two aspects, both the brightness level within the night vision unit and the actual illumination levels, are the 2 most important things to get right in order to make sure that your sight picture is nice and clear and you can get definition in what you're shooting at. And the only other thing that I'm going to show you is the zoom capabilities of the scope. It's another thing that I was having a look at last night, and I filmed so that you can see the difference between using the zoom and not using it. The picture is definitely a bit clearer without the zoom on, but you can see how it might help you in certain circumstances, and it's easy to operate as well. It's just a single button on top, and simply pressing it in will bring your zoom in, and pressing it again will bring the zoom back out. The N750 is a very easy unit to use. All the other aspects and little adjustments of it are very well explained within the instructions, so we don't really need to go through these here. I'll just end by saying that value for money wise, the N750 has massively impressed me, and not only me, it's impressed pretty much everybody that I've showed it and who's had a chance to shoot with it. It is quite incredible how far night vision technology has come along, and with units like the N750, which give you capabilities easily out to 200 meters with the correct illumination, it has opened up the world of night vision to pretty much everybody.
Well, that's it for this week. Thanks for watching. We're out every Monday, 7:30 PM UK time. This is The Shooting Show.